Welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and Kale podcast.
Let's go.
And welcome in to the Rob and Kale podcast.
I'm not ashamed.
Rob Sanders, thanks for joining us this evening. We got a lot of things we're going to go over this evening as we're not quite in the talking season yet, but things are being put out there. We'll give you some predictions and we'll determine whether or not they're hot dog water or facts tonight. But before we get into that, I got to welcome in my podcast partner. He is the king of the potato chips. He is the best damn Gamecock YouTuber on the planet. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you all are having a good Wednesday, a good hump day, or you survived it anyway. Time to get your freak on and coast on homewards toward the weekend.
Yeah.
Yet another weekend. We're halfway through April already. Tax time.
Tax time, yeah.
Tax time, yeah. I did some fun stuff I dealt with today. God almighty. Whew.
Well, we're going to take calls this evening as well. We've got, I think it's going to be a fun show. I am watching the NBA playoffs. I know everyone hates the fucking NBA and, oh my God, I don't watch them because it's not fucking basketball anymore. That's fine. Fuck yourself. I watch the NBA. I'm wrapped up in this Raptors Bulls game. I watched the Lakers game last night. I was hoping that Minnesota would knock them in their teeth, but it just wasn't happening. So we'll see how this plays.
They're already in the playoffs.
Well, they're in what's called the play-in tournament. So like you have to. It's a weird thing where like seeds 9 and 10 play each other basically to be able to move into the actual playoffs. Sort of like the NCAA tournament. All right. So yeah, it's weird. Like if Toronto wins tonight, they'll move on. They'll advance to be the 7 seed and they'll play. I guess it's whoever the fuck is the 2 seed. And then,
I knew they were doing something weird. And so have they shortened the regular season now? Because I don't remember the playoffs starting this early.
No, the actual playoffs will be this weekend. And it's a shit show. That's the only way I mean, they're trying to package drama and it's just not working. But
you realize you're just over there a few minutes ago, kind of like throwing shade at everybody else because we don't watch the NBA playoffs. And now you're talking shit on them.
Well, it's because it's not really the playoffs. It's the
where are you at on it, Rob? You like them or not?
Well, I enjoy the playoffs and I enjoy the NBA, and I don't let things that have happened make me not enjoy or stop enjoying something that I've enjoyed since I was a child.
But you just call it a shit show.
The format is a shit show. Hey, you've got to play this to get actually in the playoffs. You got 2 bum teams playing here, Toronto and Chicago. Fuck them both. I want to see some damn. I want to see these teams getting, doing their thing. That's what I want.
How are the Phoenix Suns doing?
Phoenix Suns are great. They got Kevin Durant. And they got Kevin Durant and Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. I mean, they've got a ton of good players. The problem the Suns are going to have is they traded away every fucking thing they had to get Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant's a great player, but when it gets down deep into the playoffs, you got guys coming off the bench. And right now, their bench sucks an asshole. So there's that.
Yeah, good old Kevin Durant. He's from right around here, Malden, South Kakalaki.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's thank our sponsors, Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. They sponsor the show. We appreciate them. If you're in West Columbia, go by, check them out. Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. classic video games, pool tables, the only Golden Tee Lounge in the state, Callaway's Bar and Grill.com. We also have Dennis Wilson from DNC Trucking and Transport. Dennis has the joy of putting together stories for us, for Uncle Jackpot to read to us. Story time with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, read away.
All right. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Tonight we discuss predictions that may be hot dog water. Just remember the Gamecock football team is always hot dog water with doo-doo ice on the side. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. We appreciate Dennis for sponsoring the show. All right, so Jackpot sent me something, and these are from 247 Sports. We're going to run through these really quick here, and then we'll open up the phones, Jackpot. But basically, these are bold predictions for the upcoming season. And the first one is about the Georgia Bulldogs. And it says Georgia will start 3 quarterbacks and still go 12-0. Are you buying, or is that hot dog water, Jackpot?
That's hot dog water. I think if you've gotten to the point where quarterbacks 1 and 2 either got injured, which you would replace the starter with, and or underperformed to that level, then you've taken a loss somewhere.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing too, and I know that people don't want to hear this, but Mike Bobo, I'm not very confident in Mike Bobo. Now, he may be a different play caller when he's got some of the, I mean, I don't even know what term to use. We'll just go with great players that Georgia has. Maybe he didn't have that when he was at Colorado State. Maybe he didn't have that when he was at South Carolina. I just remember things like not giving Todd Gurley the ball and losing to a South Carolina team. They probably should have won that game. Not taking anything away from the Gamecocks, but this guy decided, hey, we're not going to give Todd Gurley the football. What kind of fucking idiot is that?
I was just trying to keep the defense honest, and it just didn't work.
Okay. Well, if you believe that, then I'm fine with you on that. But I'm just saying, I think that they're going to miss Munkin, and I think they're going to drop a game. I don't know which one it's going to be. I'm not saying they're a bad team. They could roll all the way through it, but the thing that gets me is running out their 3 quarterbacks. That level we went 2 in a row regular seasons undefeated. Is that correct? And yeah.
the only game they've lost in 2 years is the SEC championship game the year before last.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I was listening to something today too, and they were talking about Stetson Bennett and how he was in the right situation at the right time. And it was talking about how he was confident when he would go out there because he had all of these guys that he could throw the ball to. And he was confident in that offensive line that they were going to protect him. And he was an older player. So maybe there's some of that too. Maybe they've just got to figure out who the quarterback's going to be. And once again, I'm not ripping the Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to be a top 10 team. But the idea of losing 3 quarterbacks or running out 3 quarterbacks, I don't know. All right, you ready for the next one, Jackpot?
Mm-hmm.
Michigan scores the most points in college football.
I think that's hot dog water.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
They did have some good offensive outputs last year, but then when they play a team with a valid defense, like you saw them play it like against Illinois last year, they can be stopped. So
looking at their schedule, because I wanted to see if there was anything on that schedule that makes you look kind of silly here, but the 2023 schedule is up here. So
Their non-con is usually crap.
Yeah, well, that's typical for a lot of teams. I mean, let's just be honest. I'm tired of and this is with Clemson and any other team that you can put out there.
They play Ohio State and Penn State, so they don't have to schedule anybody else.
The first 4 games of the season are at home, and they are as follows: East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers. They go on the road to Nebraska after that, followed by a road trip to Minnesota. Then they come home to play Indiana before they head to Michigan State. Home game with Purdue, away at Penn State. That should be a tough matchup. Followed by a road trip to Maryland, and then a home game with Ohio State.
So they don't, until week, 9? They're coasting. Those first 4 games, argue with that. Who are their first 4 games again?
First 4 games, Jackpot, are East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers.
Argue, fact or cap? East Carolina is the toughest of that bunch.
You're probably right.
You think East Carolina is better than Rutgers? Probably.
I just when I sit here and I look at it though, I get frustrated when I see, and this is across the board, which I think we got to get it to a point where we take it out of the AD's hands. I'm sick of these fucking worthless games every year. Tired of it. Schedule Power 5 teams and 1 in-state team. Stop with this bullshit of we're going to bring East Carolina up here and win 47-0. It's fucking stupid. I'm tired of watching them. It's absolutely ridiculous. And don't give me this shit. Well, we're playing this team and we're going to play at a neutral site. Go fuck your mother. Play a home and home. Schedule them. Go there, and then you come here. Whatever. But stop this neutral site nonsense. We got to take it out of the hands of the athletic directors because they're too stupid and they don't understand that people actually want to see decent matchups and not this horse shit so they can race to a 6-6 record and go to a bowl game. It's stupid. But anyway.
To be fair, East Carolina's been toughened up the past couple of years and with openers against the Gamecocks and NC State.
Okay.
Brandon Coon said Jackpot looks like Dak Joyner's been moved to running back. How do you think that will work out? Not good. I think that's a desperation move, and that's concerning.
Yeah,
Harry Legs talking about Michigan's schedule says Maryland is no instant win either. Yeah, it is. Maryland sucks. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Jerry says, would you agree 1 cupcake is okay? Yeah, I don't have a problem with schedule a team from in-state. That way you can help fund that school's athletic program. South Carolina and Clemson should roll out games with Furman and Wofford.
Well, we are.
I'm just saying that's the way that it should be on a rotation like that. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why we're like the year before last, for instance, when South Carolina opened with Eastern Illinois.
Why?
Yeah, not so sure about that. Not sure about that.
Yeah.
Eastern Illinois. Why not they play Illinois? Well, that makes sense.
I'm also in the camp of schedule your spring game could be an in-state team. We can do that too. People were talking. I sent it to Jackpot the other day. Someone put out there that South Carolina should play App State and North Carolina should play.
No.
How about just play an in-state team? South Carolina could square off with Wofford, Presbyterian, whoever, bring them in and make it an actual competitive game. It would make more sense. But, whatever.
We're supposed to play at App State. No.
Jackpot, y'all should be better. Well, I don't know.
No.
Texas A&M had issues with App State.
Those South Carolina. No.
Go to fucking App State and play because they're cunts. But anyway. So, yeah, I don't know about Michigan and all that, but that's the next one there. The third one, Texas will go to the college football playoff. Texas went 8-5 last year. with Bijan Robinson and a slew of guys that are going to be in the NFL draft, do you think they're going to the playoffs?
Hot dog water. Fuck no. No.
Fuck Texas. I don't even want to go.
I don't believe in them. I mean, they get hyped up every year. And every year they're disappointing. Every year they lose to somebody in the Big 12. I mean, they beat Oklahoma last year 49-0, which was impressive. But they lost to Texas Tech, Kansas State, right? I mean, lose a couple other games that don't make a lot of sense. So, I think they lose to Alabama and not close this time. So, no.
All right. And I'm with you on that. I don't think that Sark has to show me something, man. Devin says that's some dirty ass hot dog water. Matthew says that's the worst OU team in 2 decades. He's absolutely right.
Yeah. Chris Foster says, does the Blue Hose have a football team? Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. All right. The next one is Hugh Freeze will win SEC Coach of the Year.
Hot dog water. He doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to have a quarterback. Now, did Snake Bigsby come back to Auburn to play for him?
I have to check on that. I think he did, but I don't know for sure. So we'll have to see.
I mean, he's been pretty unimpressive for the most part.
No, I mean, Bigsby was a good running back for them. I mean, last season he was like one of the top running backs in the conference. So I mean, unless being a top SEC running back is bad.
Well, I guess that was kind of overshadowed by the fact that his team was horse piss.
Well, yeah. So
Harry Legg says he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. He's doing the NFL draft thing. He ran for almost 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5.4 yards a carry last season. So
that's all right.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be very good either. So we're probably on the same boat with that. Now the next one, this one's interesting too, because it says North Carolina will go 6-6 after being a preseason top 25 team. Jackpot. Are you buying that or not?
Yeah, I could definitely buy it. I mean, you look at their schedule. I mean, it's not exactly easy. And, haven't they been largely disappointing? Haven't they failed to live up to expectations most years? I think they have.
Well, and I wonder how much Mac Brown has got left. And, I mean, there's always a point where it's like, all right, what the hell? So their schedule, to look at it quickly here, South Carolina at a neutral site, open up at home with App State. Fuck. Then Minnesota in Chapel Hill, followed by a road trip to Pitt, Syracuse for a home game, Miami for a home game, Virginia for a home game. Then they go to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech, and then a game with Campbell. They got to play the fucking Camels in November. Duke, and then Clemson, and then NC State to wrap up the season.
Yeah, let's just break that down. I mean, okay, Drake Mays, great quarterback, is amazing, right? He lost their best wide receiver. We know their defense is awful, and they brought the defensive coordinator back. And you look at that schedule. I mean, they could, they might be favored to beat South Carolina by a point. I don't agree with that, and they could start. I don't think so, but they could start 0-4. They really could.
So, South Carolina, App State, Minnesota, and Pitt.
They could lose.
I think. You think they could lose to App State? I mean, App State doesn't have their quarterback. I mean, he's gone. So
no, I mean, App State's they keep reloading. They reload every year. I mean, should have beat them last year. South Carolina, that is what it is. Minnesota has been a decent team. They're not, they're on level of they're above average around that level. That's a home game, so they'll probably win that one. At Pitt is, I would say, a toss-up, and I think that's a place that UNC hadn't had the best of luck. And then you got that little 3-game stretch there with Syracuse. Who was it? Syracuse, Miami, and who?
Miami and Virginia.
Virginia at home. I mean, they could lose. They'll probably be favored, but they could lose any of those games. And then the game against Duke is, I mean, I think that's a toss-up. I mean, Duke was really good last year. At Clemson, it's probably a loss.
Yep.
At Georgia Tech, I mean, you lost to them last year. And then at NC State, I mean, looking at that, I think that's probably a loss. So, yeah, I think it's very conceivable like he goes 6-6. They probably win 7 or 8, but.
Next up, Cade Klubnik wins ACC Player of the Year. Jackpot, take that for a second. I'm going to take this call from my daughter, but Klubnik wins ACC Player of the Year. Your thoughts on that?
Klubnik wins ACC Player of the Year. I mean, I could see it. I could see it. He's talented. They, bring in what's supposedly the top assistant coach in college football from last year, and Garrett Riley. A lot of it depends on the supporting cast, and a lot of that's going to depend on does he have the receivers to help him be the ACC Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's got to have somebody to throw the ball to, and we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, Papa B recognizes that off the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
Bow Hunting 101 says, "Do I have a flux capacitator on the box truck?" I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No, I'm dumb. I don't know what that is.
I'm a dumbass. I doubt it.
No, I said I'm dumb. I didn't call you dumb. I said I'm dumb. I don't know what.
No, I don't know what it is either. Then it's that truck's pretty basic. I'd say it's not, but Bow Hunting, if you wouldn't mind explaining to me what that is, I could tell you.
All right, so this last one, Jackpot, was kind of weird to me, and it says Bo Nix finishes at least in the top 3 in the Heisman voting.
Oh, that's from Back to the Future. Then yes, I do.
It's so. Wait a minute. Like, isn't Bo Nix like 35? I mean, he's old as fuck.
He was a freshman in 2019 with Auburn. He was there from 2019 to 21. Hit the transfer portal, went to Oregon. He has the COVID year. So, I mean, he should have been a senior. Last year should have been his last year, but he has the COVID year. So that's that would be accurate.
Okay. Well, there you go with that. So there are some bold predictions there. I don't know. Whatever with all that, man. That's a mess.
I mean, we got to look at other quarterbacks across the country, and is he better than those folks? I mean, we got a lot of major programs like in Alabama, like at Ohio State. These guys are all replacing their quarterback. So the time is right for someone else to step up.
Right. Well, I'm in the camp of, when I really stop and think about it, I mean, he may end up being great up there. I don't know if he'll have enough games where he can get enough votes, though. I mean, winning the Heisman when you're out west is hard, in my opinion, but.
Do you think I'm still? Maybe I'm silly. Do you think Notre Dame has or will have the receiving core to possibly, if he absolutely balls out, make a Heisman Trophy candidate with Sam Hartman?
I think that he'll get Heisman Trophy consideration simply because he's the Notre Dame quarterback. If he plays above average, okay, he'll get. I mean, there's just whoever the Notre Dame quarterback is, they have a love affair with getting them up to New York. So, Because there is a bias there when it comes to that kind of thing. There really is. So, yeah, I mean, and look, and he's going to put up numbers anyway. I mean, he's put up numbers in that Wake Forest offense. Now, maybe he is a system quarterback. Maybe he doesn't. If he's not in that Wake Forest offense, he may not be great.
So, are you saying that maybe Wake Forest ran a gimmick offense?
Well, I mean, it is sort of a gimmick offense. Yeah, I can buy. I mean, we can call it a gimmick offense. What is it? The slow delay? What do they call it?
Mesh.
Slow mesh. Okay, yeah. Not buying all that. So, there's that. All right, jackpot. The one thing I wanted to go over with you when they were talking about to carry on Jordan moving to running back. What does that say about your running back room?
Nothing positive. I mean, and again, I think they're shopping the transfer portal for someone else to come in and help with that. But I mean, who is in the transfer portal right now that could step into that spot?
Well,
or maybe it's someone who hasn't entered the portal yet.
Well, and that's the thing. Next week, after all these spring games are over, there's going to be guys that are going to be in the transfer portal. And, there's going to be some guys that are going to move around. We'll have to see how that works out. But, I mean, when I heard that, I was like, man, really? I mean, you just kind of touch, really? Really? Okay. What a mess. All right, phone lines are open, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. That's the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the program this evening as we roll along here today.
I was watching a video today that was put out by Sports Talk Jay over on the Tennessee YouTube channel, and pretty entertaining stuff. Was talking about next week, all the Jeremy Pruitt stuff supposed to come to a head. NCAA supposed to, let it be known what kind of sanctions are going to be placed on the Vols, I think, if any. And, he had a guest on there talking, and they were talking about the self-imposed sanctions, that they really didn't think that, the Vols deserved any more punishment. And it brought to mind this, which I mentioned this earlier. When you were a kid, if you screwed up and you were facing an ass whipping from your dad when he got home, what would you rather have? Would you rather have the ass whipping from dad, or would you rather self-impose your own ass whipping?
I get where you're coming from with that, but my thing is that if the NCAA was worth a shit with the stuff that they found out that was going on, you don't get to punish yourself. This isn't, hey, I was smoking cigarettes in my jack shed. It's not what this is. You were cheating at a high level, so much so that everyone had to be fired. Your punter decided it was better to go to Memphis and fucking punt there for his senior season than to stay at your school. Okay? And the Tennessee fans, they're so fucking dumb with this. Well, we didn't do anything. Everybody's fired. So, you know what? The NCAA shouldn't do shit to us. We shouldn't have anything. And let's just throw this under there. You're a fucking cheating program.
Well,
it's simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, yet they brag about firing everybody. But did they fire everybody because they were cheating? Or did they fire Jeremy Pruitt and the staff because he sucked at football?
They were more than happy to get rid of Jeremy Pruitt because of the fact that he sucked at football. They got a way to not have to fucking pay him. And hey, they're cheating anyway. And I know the people, this program's doing this and all programs cheat. Yes, but you got caught, sir. You got caught.
Yep.
So just stop with the nonsense, and you should take whatever the NCAA gives you. And it shouldn't come down to, well, we're just going to lawyer up and we're going to fuck you. That is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard of in my life. That's why the NCAA sucks now, because They're so scared that some big ass donor is going to be like, you know what? I'm going to pay for, the attorney fees. So I can hit my team here and we can, not have to deal with these sanctions that are there. There should be serious sanctions against them. I mean, I've read something where it's like, it should be like no off-campus visits for a year. They should make it where they lose 15 scholarships and make an example out of them so that people know, hey, if you get caught, this is what's going to happen to you. But they won't do that. They'll probably look at them. Oh, we're not going to give them anything. But they should sanction them to the end of time. Not death penalty, but you go there and it's not. I mean, they should. They don't do the TV thing anymore. But, I mean, no off-campus visits, 15 scholarship reductions, all of that should be coming to them. Jerry says a good question. Jerry says, why put sanctions on people that had nothing to do with the cheating? We're not sanctioning them. We're sanctioning the program. The program cheated, sir.
Exactly.
It's not the issue of the people that were there. Now, those people that were there decided, you know what? They have sanctioned us and I don't want to be here anymore. Then they should be able to leave. No penalty. Leave. I didn't realize they were going to have it in here where we don't have the offensive line depth now. We got damn walk-ons from the rugby team out there trying to block for us. So I'm going to take my ass somewhere else. That's what should happen. And you should take your medicine. And if you have a couple of 2-10 seasons, then you'll know we don't need to fucking cheat anymore. Get out of it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's designed to teach a lesson, I guess.
I agree with Leonard. Whatever sanctions are handed down, getting rid of Pruitt was well worth it. Brock says they act like the school admitted their mistakes. It makes up for the shit they did. If you kill someone, admit to the police you killed a person and you're sorry, you're still a murderer. Well, that's going to the far, far end of the spectrum. But yeah, if you go and rob a bank and then come back 5 days later and say, hey, I robbed the bank, I got the money somewhere else, but it's the same theory. It's the same exact theory.
I told on myself, so
yeah.
We good, right?
What a mess. Kentucky Durbin says loss of institutional control. UT cheaters should have already gotten that. Just shows how corrupt the NCAA is. Yep, you're right. I'm with you, man. I mean, that's just the way that it is.
That's the first time Kentucky Durbin. Well, it's the first time this month he may have said something intelligent.
Well, it's funny because the only people who don't think that Tennessee should be sanctioned are their fucking fans. And you know what? If it were somebody else, and I know for Tennessee fans talking about South Carolina, and South Carolina did the exact same thing, that fuck them, sanction them to the moon. That's how it should be.
They told everybody we should have had the death penalty about them bed sheets in that hotel.
Yeah. What a mess. Kentucky Durbin told you to grab a Bud Light. All right.
No, I don't think so.
That worked out. Motivated, dedicated with a great point here. Imagine doing all that cheating and you still can't win. Man, that's harsh, Jackpot.
Yeah, it's rough.
All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. We can get into that if we wanted to, but I mean, I think we've talked about that, and I don't think like the Mizzou sanctions that came about. What were the Mizzou sanctions for that rogue tutor? Let me look that up really quick here because that was like pretty vile at one point. Let me look at that up really quick here. So this is from 2019. Included a 3 years of probation for the entire athletic department, a vacation of record for games in which football, baseball, and softball players completed while ineligible, a 5% reduction in scholarships for football, baseball, and softball for the upcoming year. All three programs fined 5%.
5% what?
Excuse me, fine $5,000 plus 1% from each of the football and baseball and softball's budget. Let's see here. Mizzou spent $500,000 on legal fees during the appeals process. So with that, Missouri originally self-reported the violations of academic fraud, something the NCAA was complimentary about, but they still said, all right, nope, that's not going to happen. Yeah, and they couldn't go to a bowl game. So, yeah.
Did they have some kind of crazy something or other going on up there where they were renting out dorms or something that were empty to people? Maybe I
got to look at that. This was where the tutor was taking tests for people or something. It was kind of a mess. So anyway, all right, 803-470-2905. Brandon says, Jackpot, do you think we'll be good at wide receiver this year with Juice Wells, Xavier Leggett, and Nicholas Harbor as the projected starters? I mean,
yeah, I think they'll be good at wide receiver, but I'm worried about running back.
Do you think Harbor's gonna play? I mean, and I'm not mocking or whatever. I mean, he's got all the talent in the world, but I mean, what position is he gonna play? Is it gonna be wide out? Who knows?
I think they'll get him in the rotation there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got to, because I mean, this guy's was talking about. He's talking about at one point training for the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, if that guy, if he goes to the Olympics for track and field, are they allowed to come back to compete in college? Or
I don't know. I don't know about that. I know that there's been guys that have competed in track, but not at that high of a level, So there's that. Tom says Tennessee fans are going to be mad as fuck when South Carolina beats them in their house. Would that be the most satisfying win of the season there for you, Jackpot?
What's that?
If you guys were able to beat Tennessee in their house.
They're kind of, I don't know. They're kind of old hat, It's time to move on to something else. I think beating North Carolina probably trumps that a little bit.
So the North Carolina game is more important to you than the Tennessee game? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we take them one game at a time, So okay. I want to win that one first, and we'll move on to Tennessee. But yeah. Yeah, at any rate, we're still, beating them last year, that still gives me a 2-year shit-talking advantage on their fans. Because even if they beat us this year, which is likely, I can still, when they come back, 2-3 weeks, a month later or whatever, and talk about how bad South Carolina is, how bad your program sucks, I'll be able to say, yeah, you're 500 the last 2 years against a horrible program. How does that feel? So I still win either way.
Jackpot's already got it mapped out. That's funny.
That's the art of the spin. That's some comrade level.
Yeah,
trollery.
I was going to say that was online with some Russian spinning right there. So
exactly.
Leonard with a good comment. Hopefully the NCAA will see Tennessee's loss last year against the Gamecocks as punishment enough and come to a compromise. Okay, terrific.
We did put them over the old proverbial knee.
All right. Well, 803-470-2905. Jackpot, what are you looking for at the spring game this weekend for the Gamecocks?
Well, Shane Beamer said the defense has improved. He was like they had a scrimmage Tuesday, and he said 5 out of the first 6 series, they had 3 and outs. So I'd like to see what that defense can do. We already know what Spencer Rattler's capable of. And just I'd like to see them limit mistakes on the offensive side of the football too. I'd like to see no interceptions. Because even in the Clemson game, They still threw a couple of bad interceptions, and one of them returned for a touchdown. That's got to be cleaned up. And then I want to see what the defense can do. He's talking about Beamer had said something about that we didn't run the ball well, and then he turned around and said that the defense was really good stopping the run. So I'm like, well, is that because the running back play was terrible, or did they really do a good job stopping the run? Because if the running back play was terrible, stopping it shouldn't have been a problem. So that may be, maybe reading too much into that.
Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. For Clemson, my big thing with them is who's going to take over at left tackle. Jordan McFadden was a 3-year starter there and can protect the blind side of the quarterback. Who's going to take that spot? We'll have to see. Is it going to be Blake Miller, big 6'6", 315-pound kid? It's going to be Tristan Lay, who everybody was like loving on the recruiting trail, and we'll see on that. Also on the wide receiver side, who's going to catch footballs? I mean, they got to have somebody other than Antonio Williams who's in the slot. Bo Collins has shown some ability.
Yeah.
But
Antonio Williams likes to put the ball on the ground a little bit too.
He does. Adam Randall was supposed to be this big deep threat, but I don't think he ever fully got recovered from his ACL injury that he had. So on the offensive side of the ball, we'll see how that works.
Who?
Adam Randall.
I don't know who that is.
Well, that's exactly right. He was supposed
Sounds
to be
like a baseball player.
No.
Kentucky Durbin says, sounds like the Chikens, that's what he said, Chikens, have an O-line problem. How many starters did they lose? 4, 5, 1 SS? Huh? Still, I don't know what that is. Still there? I don't know. Your abbreviations confuse me. No, I think they lost. We lost Dylan Wanham and Eric Douglas, the center. They moved. I can't remember who's moved over to center. They got someone out of the kid out of the transfer portal who's doing really well for them up there, and they've actually got some really talented freshmen coming in that could see some time on the line. Ryan Brubaker, the redshirt freshman, the kid that was a high 4-star from the state of Pennsylvania, picked Gamecocks over Penn State, is one that's in the mix up there right now. There's some playing time. Marquis Anderson, number 1 player in the state of South Carolina. Also might see some time. I think he's listed as second string on the depth chart. So, I wouldn't say we have a problem. I'd say that's a problem. If that's a problem, it's a good problem to have. Also, the new offensive line coach over there too, taking over. Coach Teasley is taking over full time for the Fowler Anderson, who had those health issues. I think he's going to be some kind of a analyst, consultant, something.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that works.
Vershawn Lee, that's who I was thinking of, is taking over at center. And yeah, there's a transfer from Yale on the offensive line, so they can go ahead and make fun of that one. But some of these guys turn out to be diamonds in the rough. I mean, because he's from Yale doesn't mean he's terrible.
Yeah,
it's definitely, you have to be really intelligent to play on the offensive line. So he's coming from Yale. He's pretty damn smart.
Yep.
They say his nickname is Nick Garugolo, and Beamer likes this guy. Say he's really good.
All right, well there you go, jackpot.
Tight end position too. I want to see what we're twerking with there at the tight end position. We lost everybody. But they brought in big Trey Knox from Arkansas. Pretty solid player there for the past few years. He's caught about 10, 12 touchdown passes in his time at Arkansas. So I'm interested to see what he can do for us.
We'll have to see how that works out. So you got that going on there, and the new offensive coordinator too. And it's not like they're going to tell us anything, you know.
Kentucky Durbin says pulling in the portal troops and thinking that will work is not a good tactic. Got to be strategic. Kentucky is doing that right. The quarterback that put mayonnaise in the coffee, Rob. Did Kentucky sign him out of high school? I'm just wondering.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think he did. I don't think they did. I think they've had several other players over there that's made a difference for them too that didn't come directly from high school. So why don't you just kind of shut up?
Yeah, that might be the way to go. Shut up. All right. Well, I agree with Frothy Tavern saying that South Carolina and teams like South Carolina, and I think it's everywhere, you know, teams that are getting up there, that transfer portal now. I mean, you end up being almost like a farm team for a lot of programs, you know. We'll have to see how that works out. But watch Twitter this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be a lot of folks that are going to be leaving, not just South Carolina, Clemson, but around the country. Coaches are going to have conversations with them after these spring games, and they're going to be like, look, you're going to be RB2. Guys thinking they should be RB1 or QB1 or whatever. They've got to figure this shit out, and they're going to go somewhere else. That's going to happen. A lot of that this coming weekend.
Yeah. Hate to see it too, because a lot of these guys are good for depth.
Yeah.
Kentucky Durbin says load up on that portal. LMAO. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we won 8 games last year with it. Should have won 9. Beat your team. So
how is Kentucky Durbin running his mouth when Kentucky's kind of a shithole?
He did this last year. He was really noisy all through the offseason, and then after we beat them, what was it, 24-14 or whatever the score was, he kind of just went dark.
Jerry says, did you get in a fight with the Cape Cod guy?
No.
Yeah, because Jackpot doesn't fight. He just knocks motherfuckers out and walks on. It's not really a fight.
The Cape Cod guy.
Yeah, Jackpot's a legit 6'4", ladies and gentlemen. And he could throw a hell of a punch. I wouldn't want to be on the business end of that.
Yeah, 6'3.5".
Okay. Anyway, you punch like you're 6'5", though. You have to punch down on motherfuckers.
That's true.
So anyway. All right. Well, as always, do you have anything else you want to go over, Jackpot? I think we had a good show.
I think so. Gamecock spring game this Saturday, 7 p.m. Right? I think the Taters are, 1, 2?
Clemson's early. South Carolina's late.
Yep. I thought about trying to go to those. We really thought about that a little bit, but I got too much work to do around the house, yard work and such. It's supposed to be a decent weekend. Last weekend was shit.
Exactly.
Well, Saturday was, and then Sunday was Easter. So I did a lot of stuff. I actually did a lot of things around the house in the yard and out on Easter Sunday.
Hey, can you answer Papa B's question? What is your number one selling chip? I don't know. I don't know that.
Would have to be the old Utz regular Ripple chip. Just the regular Ripple chip. Either that or the Utz honey barbecue.
Good point.
But the Ripple chip in most places, you can, because they're versatile. You can do so much with them. You can just eat them plain, or you can dip them, or you can play with the little ridges in them. So we have a wavy chip too that's in a yellow and white bag instead of the blue and white. And they're almost the same chip, except the wavy they're wavy. The ridges are just thicker, and we don't have hardly any movement off that one. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
All right. Well, it's been a good show. Look forward to chatting with you guys over the weekend. Jackpot, I hope you have a good weekend as well, my friend.
All right, sir.